Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to our August 2026 unboxing of Row 1 Yarns Carnival of Colors. So, if you are new to this unboxing and year with series, we are spending 1 year getting, unboxing, reviewing, and working with Row 1's Carnival of Color. I 100% purchased this out of my own monies. In no way, shape, or form am I affiliated with Row 1. So, this is a lot of fun. I'm having a blast doing this. We are getting 10 gram minis. If you opt to get 2 packages, you are guaranteed to have 2 separate colorways. Each month, the yarns come from one specific designer. That way we get a nice sampling of this dyer and how they play with color, their style, what it is that they enjoy working with. So I am very excited to announce project number 2 is now complete. This was supposed to be the Thalassia top. Unfortunately, I made an uh-oh. The pattern is supposed to be shell lace, and mine is shell lace, shell lace. Other than that, I did follow the pattern. I was able to go lace, shell, lace in each color. I did add my own undyed yarn. This is Nomad Stratus. And this is most of July and May's yarns, I think, is what makes up all of this one. So I'm very excited. It's done. I did wear it to the Southern Comfort Fiber Market over this past weekend, so it had its public debut already. I do love how the colors turned out. I love how everything played together. As I always say, when you're doing these multicolor projects, unless you want to play with like single tone things or small color family groups of things, the more colors you add, the better things are going to end up. I wasn't specifically paying attention to anything other than saturation when it came to laying out the colors. I wanted to keep, kind of some variance. We got some light, we have some light, we have some super saturated, we have some super saturated, we have some medium, and then we have some medium. I kind of wanted to keep things a little bit more dispersed. I didn't want to have like one side all heavy and one side all light. We did end up a little bit more color heavy on the left, but that's okay. When I did my seaming, I did keep the deep V here and then went with a more shallow V on the back. But hopefully, as I've been talking, the video of me showing you the full length of this and everything has been playing over here to the side. So this is now our second finished project using our Row 1 minis. The first one was this granny square shawl, and that used everything up through May. So here we are, and July is partially used. I have not completely used July's yarn yet, but I did cast on the new pattern from Wool and Pine. This is mixed tape. It's funny because I was talking about using another subscription box's yarns, and somebody had recommended this, and I said, well, you see what had happened was I had already started a project using it. So this is the first 5 colors. I started adding number 6 over here from July. And that's what we have left. I think I am only going to do a single pass with each color. I have enough, I think, in theory, to be able to reuse all the colors on the back, especially if I switch up the stockinette for the garter alternating. I think I could make it work, but I'm not sure I want to test it, because if there's something that doesn't quite pan out, am I going to be able to blend it? I do think I might do my, my little sleeve row and my first row in the same colors though, just to add some sort of unity across the sweater. So that is where we are now. I do have my barber cable in here. The construction of this, I wish I'd finished the row I was on because it makes it very difficult to show you what I was doing. But when I go to construct this flap will go up here. And that is the sleeve. And the shoulder seam up here will be seamed. And we will have the back, or the front will actually come off of this edge. And then we'll sew here. Anyway, it is kind of hard to tell what is going on at this point, but I did go back and forth. I could jumble the colors up and put them in separate bags and say, okay, for the front, this one's going to be garter and this one's going to be stockinette, and just random order it, I guess. I don't know. I haven't made those decisions yet. I do think it's a little bit of a risk though, because the ones from the garter stitch rows I had 5 grams left for, which I think will be fine if I use the garters for the stockinettes and vice versa. Anyway, that is not a problem I am going to solve while standing here filming this video though. So that is our new project. We do have another top coming. This time we are knitting it. I did think about going back to the Purl Soho pattern I'd originally pulled to be project 2. But I think I've been debating. I do have scraps left, and from the shawl as well as from this top. And I have been debating on taking my 2 gram and down balls and magic knotting them and doing a full-on scrappy version of the Purl Soho sweater, which is, you know, very similar side-to-side construction as these other two have been, and alternating every 2 rows instead of changing yarns every 2 rows, alternating skeins and doing 2 rows in the scrap ball, 2 rows in the stratus, 2 rows in the scrap ball, 2 rows in the stratus, because I still have, I think, 8 skeins at the stratus left, if not 6 skeins. So I was thinking that might be kind of cool and just have like a straight up scrappy, no rhyme or reason to the color change sweater as well. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. That's just kind of where my brain was going. So anyway, $40 every month. We get 10 gram minis from a new dyer, as well as like a piece of candy and a stitch marker. So this is my package of yarns from this month. This is my package with my candies and my infos over here. It looks like we have the mini charm suckers in strawberry and lemon. So those will go into the candy dish downstairs for when my grandkids are here visiting. My granddaughter in particular is a sugar monster. So I have not opened any of this. This actually came when I was out of town this weekend, and this is immediately after coming back into town. So, oh my goodness. I wish she had told me. I just met her over the weekend. A spare room is the dyer for this month. That is hilarious. Yeah, so I'm going to have to email her and be like, hey, yo, I wish you had told me, because I don't know that I mentioned to her that the second day I was wearing this sweater that this was. She is, by the way, adorable. She was one of the new vendors for the Southern Comfort Fiber Market. The vendor share will be up on Tuesday or Thursday, I'm hoping. This is Tuesday. Thursday, I'm hoping the vendor share will be up. But a spare room, I just met her this weekend. That is 2. 2 of the vendors from this weekend will be in 2026. We have one upcoming for November, which I'm super duper excited about as well. Anyway, so Nicole Nicole is an Army vet. She's one of 5 veterans that were showing at the show. And the name for her company came from the fact that she started her business in a small room. When she finally was medically released from the Army, her husband and her, worked it out to where she had a spare room where she could finally have her space. When you're in the military, you really don't have time and space. Plus, your life is not such that you can really set things up long term always. And so when she finally had the opportunity to have a spare room, it was her room. So anyway, hilarious. I literally just met her this weekend. So let's crack on to what she said, which is funny because this is not what I would say is it. I guarantee you the other one is. This is based on what I saw at the show this weekend. I would say first glance, this is not indicative of her palette as a whole. But I guarantee you the other one has more of what I was looking at over the weekend. And this is the stuff where it's like, I like it, but it's not mine. This is why I find this so exciting. And this is why I part of me wishes I had gotten the 2 for $80 because number one, free shipping, which is always nice. But I feel like in the 10 skeins we're getting a sampling, which is exactly what we're paying for. But there's an opportunity for, I guess, a more full look at a dyer. And I'm not saying I don't like these because I do really like these colors, and these will actually play very well with what I have going into my mixed tape sweater. But we have, let's see, we don't quite have as neat of a, like as soon as it pours out, these go together, these go together, these go together. So first off, let's start here. We've got Amber Bottle. We have Indigo Dye Vat, which is exactly what, just a perfect description. This is Hibiscus. I think this is our second colorway that has been named Hibiscus this year. And different takes on the same type of color. Mortar and Pestle, which is, I love a good black and gray tonal. And this is more of like a black speckle with a gray tonal. Love it. Allophane. I'm gonna have to look that one up. And this one has, I don't know how, well, you can see it right there. Speckles. Haha. It reminds me actually of like Vaseline glass. Chicory. I wouldn't have called this chicory. I am assuming chicory flowers bloom in this color though. I have never seen chicory flowers, just chicory root. Malachite, perfect name. And I love how that lemony yellow green is just kind of popping from behind the tonal green. Like our main green is the main green and it's tonal, but you have this like lemony Sprite color kind of popping out from behind. Yellow citrine, which again, exactly. There's almost like a hint of green to the undertone of this. You can actually see it more pulled back here. Like this is gold. And you can kind of tell there's like just this hint of green hiding in the background, and it pairs very well with the malachite. Up next, we have saffron. Most expensive spice. And finally, we have chili pepper. Which that like immediately popped up the true color there. So again, having just met her and experienced her traveling shop, this is not what I would say, this palette is not what I would say was very indicative of her, but I think that's also what I was drawn to while shopping in her booth. So she actually made my Christmas wish list, not my I bought day of list, because some of the things that I was admiring are things that like I really want, but I couldn't justify buying for myself. So they're on the wish list there. These four obviously go very quickly together. That's hibiscus, chili pepper, amberglass, and saffron. So we have a nice little foursome there. Oddly enough, I actually kind of dig these four together. So that's chicory, yellow citrine, malachite, and allophane. I wouldn't have immediately put the chicory with that, but I really kind of dig the chicory with that. It's just like, I wouldn't have quite put these three together in the order that they ended up. And then that just leaves the indigo and mortar and pestle kind of hanging out on their own over here. The pictures at the end, I always put the pictures at the end of kind of like how they fell out in their like pairsies groups. This is more like 4, 4, and 2 this time. And then I'm looking at what's left in my bucket. And I do have a couple of larger scraps left over from doing the shawl as well. This is going to be fun. This is going to go really nicely into what we already have here. I mean, you can tell we already have some of those more earthy tones that it can play almost immediately into. And we already had, you know, some of those slightly more spicy colors left to go. So this is going to be a lot of fun, if I'm going to be honest. And I am now going to have to message Nicole and be like, I do want to go and see what the other colorways were like, because now it's like, I think those have got to be the colors that I was looking at. This was something very similar to what I was looking at. She had some really pretty floofy yarns too, just putting it out there. She had some really pretty floofy yarns. Anyway, oh, I forgot. We've got our stitch marker this month too. I have actually been using the stitch markers. Oh, this month we have a key for the spare room. That is so cute. Oh, come on. Focus. I think the glare is actually what's preventing it from focusing. But you run my light bulb marker through this, and we can mark where we are here at the top of the sleeve here. This pattern, by the way, is not mega straightforward. It's straightforward. It's not boring. It does some interesting little detail things that I'm really enjoying. We'll talk about that in a later show and tell, I'm sure. But there we go. We have our stitch marker in place. This is just my right side marker, so I remember when to change my colors and everything. Now it's a little bit more obvious, but anyway, that is all I have. So let me know, number one, if you're getting row 1 Carnival of Colors. Have you met Nicole before? 2, did you get the other color pack? What did you think of it? How are you feeling about your colors? 3, tell me how much you loved the sweater and how that turned out, even with all the boo-boos. And 4, do you like the mixtape pattern and how this is turning out? So let me know. I have questions. I want your input. I love you guys. I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye, guys.